Here's something I find quite interesting is knowing the difference between stonewalling and silent treatment. And so stonewalling and silent treatment, they both involve like getting out of communication, don't want to communicate for various reasons. So stonewalling is more about self-protection and avoidance of conflict, whereas the silent treatment is done deliberately. It's more about manipulation and control over other people. So what I'm finding here is that stonewalling is a behavior where one person in a relationship shuts down communication and refuses to engage or respond to the other person. This is when we find and come to grips where we can't change people. They're going to be who they are. This is exactly who they are. They hurt people, they belittle people, they gossip about people, and there's no changing. So you want to engage in stonewalling, which is giving like short conversations with them, short answers, talking about the weather, changing the subject really quick, because they're so toxic, so involved in talking about other people, or just physically leaving the conversation, getting up and leaving the area where they are. Stonewalling is often used as a defense mechanism to avoid conflict or difficult conversations. This is when you learn how to deal with people when you find out who they really are. If it's someone that you're like, no, I cannot be around this person. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my mental being. And it's called stonewalling, where you protect yourself, the way you communicate. It can leave the other person feeling frustrated and ignored and invalidated, but you're not doing this to make them feel that way. It's different than the silent treatment. You're doing this to protect yourself. So the primary purpose of stonewalling is not necessarily to hurt the other person intentionally, but rather to protect oneself from perceived threats or overwhelming emotions. It can be a way for individuals to cope with stress or anxiety by withdrawing from the situation. However, the impact of stonewalling on relationships can be detrimental, as it prevents healthy communication and resolution of issues. So, again, this is not done normally with normal people, but it is done with people that is causing you great stress, and it's not like you can have a normal conversation with them. They will cut you off when you try to explain anything, when you try to solve a situation or a problem. You cannot get one word in. So it's like, what's the point? Realizing, so you realize, all right, I can't get nowhere with this person. It goes back to that we cannot change people. And you just engage in stonewalling. I mean, yeah, they're going to feel frustrated and they're going to say you're giving them a silent treatment, but you're not doing it on purpose. You're doing it to protect yourself. Stonewalling. On the other hand, the silent treatment is a more deliberate and manipulative form of communication avoidance. You'll notice this with toxic people when they do this on purpose. It involves actively ignoring or ostracizing you some way as a way to punish or control you. Unlike stonewalling, which may stem from emotional overwhelm or self-preservation, the silent treatment is often used as a weapon to inflict emotional pain or assert power over the other person. This silent treatment can be deeply hurtful and damaging to relationships as it conveys rejection, contempt, and disrespect. So a lot of times when people don't get their ways, and they want to control you for you to be who they want you to be and do what they want you to do, they will engage in a silent treatment with you, and they know what they're doing. It creates a sense of isolation and powerlessness in the recipient, leading to feelings of confusion, anger, and insecurity. The silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse that undermines trust and intimacy in relationships. So while both stonewalling and the silent treatment involve withdrawing from communication, stonewalling is more about self-protection and avoidance of conflict, whereas the silent treatment is about manipulation and control over others.
Okay, I want to elaborate a little more on this topic, stonewalling versus silent treatment, because I like details when I'm learning something. And, stonewalling versus the silent treatment, are they the same? Although they can feel the same, they share similar, they can feel similar or be similar at the way they are performed, but it's a huge difference. And it's important to note that while there are situations where remaining silent or avoiding confrontation can be helpful in protecting oneself, these tactics can also be harmful if they are used excessively or inappropriately. So in general, open communication and honest communication is the most effective way to build healthy relationships and address any issues of concerns that may arise. So I wanted to go over some real life examples of stonewalling or silent treatment. Just to give an idea, here are some toxic ones. This can happen in any relationship. This goes, I mainly talk about the workplace environment, but this can be for intimate relationships, parent-child relationships, neighbor relationships, business relationships, etc. So here are a few that are straight up silent treatment. This here one is a form of being manipulative, a manipulation tactic to punish someone for not doing what you want them to do. So one example would be a partner may refuse to discuss their feelings or thoughts about a particular issue, making it difficult for their significant other to understand their perspective or address any concerns. Another one would be a parent may give the child the silent treatment when they do something wrong, rather than talking to them about their behavior and providing guidance. The next one would be in the work environment, a boss may refuse to engage in conversation with an employee who brings up a problem or concern, making it difficult for the employee to address any issues and improve their work performance. So this is straight up the silent treatment. It's like a manipulation tactic to control you. You are not obeying their orders, something like that. So on the flip side of this, it's not really silent treatment per se, even though it acts like silent treatment. It's actually stonewalling. The phrase is stonewalling, but it can be called silent treatment for other reasons. The other reasons would be to protect yourself. You're not trying to harm anyone from your going silent. An example would be an individual may choose not to engage in a conversation with someone who is angry or aggressive as a way to protect themselves from harm or escalating the situation. Another one would be a person may avoid discussing a sensitive topic with someone who has a history of reacting poorly or becoming emotional as a way to maintain their own emotional well-being. Another one would be an individual may choose not to respond to a message or email from someone who is being disrespectful or inappropriate as a way to set boundaries and protect themselves from further harm. So hopefully this helps by giving examples of stonewalling versus just straight up manipulative, controlling, silent treatment. All right, I'm out. You know what? Check it out. Just like we realize we cannot change people, realizing talking to a brick wall, trying to get a brick wall to understand, trying to get a brick wall to love you back, trying to get a brick wall to communicate together effectively in the workplace environment. The brick wall.